How to hack new tech for new business opportunities. Welcome Jordan Taylor, CEO, Synergy Grid, Kristal Hansley, CEO, WeSolar, and Sheryl Pons, CEO, DaiTechCorp Corporations.
Can you guys hear? You can hear?
Earphones
Okay.
on, your earplugs.
All right.
Clap one if you hear us. Clap two if you hear us. It's gonna be fun.
Is my mic on?
All right.
All right, so we're getting to go.
So I want to say welcome to everyone for this session on how to hack new tech for new opportunities. You know we're pressing up against the main stage for lunch with Isaiah Thomas, so we're going to get through this and we're going to get through this thing quick. But not so fast that we don't leave you with some important information. My name... Thank you. My name is, thank you for being here, and shout out to the National Minority Supplier Development Council for inviting us to participate. My name is Sheryl Pons. I am the founder and CEO of DaiTechCorp Corporation. DaiTechCorp is the art and soul of EV charging infrastructure. Our artistry is our creativity. We are professional problem solvers from a number of industries: real estate, electrician, labor work, working for the U.S. Capitol Office of the Architect, and also disaster recovery. And we brought all that experience to the fore in order to deliver electric vehicle charging stations in our region in the DMV. Also, we are the soul because we bring to the picture the technical know-how, the electrical trades, the engineering, project management, and also the vision that's required to build what we know as NEVI, the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure. And we're so proud to be a part of that. We brought this panel to you so that you can understand what we've experienced as early movers, on the edge, leading edgers who are in the sustainability business, and what can be sought from an entrepreneur's point of view as the experience of moving into an industry in its infancy. So I'd like for my comrades to introduce themselves, and we're going to move forward in the presentation. Jordan.
How you guys doing? Thank you guys for coming. My name is Jordan. My business is Synergy Grid. We're a sustainable real estate development company. We do developments in net zero multifamily, commercial, and industrial applications. So that's for any buildings in here. In essence, what we're doing is looking to neutralize all the carbon emissions from any building location. We've been in business since 2018. We're based out of Maryland, and definitely looking forward to sharing some of the opportunities that for all of you business owners and your supply chains to be able to green your supplies and to be able to offset your carbon footprint.
And Kristal.
Oh.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kristal Hansley, and I am the founder and CEO of WeSolar. WeSolar is a community solar firm where we develop, operate, and own solar farms across the country. The niche about our company is that we focus on creating equity in the solar markets. 80% of households actually cannot put panels or roofs on their buildings. And through our solar farms, people can virtually get solar credits, meaning that we're opening up the markets by 80%. And low-income to moderate-income families can tap into our solar farms and receive a solar discount. Most of the time, underrepresented groups and communities of brown and black people are left out of the just transition. And today we'll show you how our companies are at the cutting edge in the forefront of the green technology space. Right now, solar is increasing 27 to 30%. There's a $370 billion-dollar market cap, and we're right there making sure that we have the opportunity to monetize the tax incentives and all of the policies that's passing in the state houses, as well as monetizing the latest federal ITC credits that just passed. And so thank you for having me, and we look forward to jumping into this conversation.
So the top of mind takeaways we'd like for you to walk away with is we would encourage every entrepreneur who's here or someone who's considering to become an entrepreneur. If you're thinking about new tech, whether it's sustainability or greening the planet, decarbonization, or Web 3.0 or AI, whatever that is out there, we encourage you to get into the game early. You want to make and the reason why you want to do that is because you want to make gatekeeping a non-factor. You want to extend and accept invites. And what do we mean by that? You get to create your own table, and when you're an early mover, you get invited to other people's buffet also, without a whole lot of what I would say obstacles. It's not that difficult to get to people when you're an early mover. And most importantly, you have an opportunity to step into leadership as opposed to being anointed. You're almost in a position to anoint and appoint yourself to find the opportunities that best fit the markets that you want to serve, instead of being pushed into places or into corners that may limit your capability or are not what you want to be involved in. And most importantly, you want to seek synergies. There are low barriers to entry when you are an early mover, and there are plenty of opportunities to partner with companies that may be 10, 20, 100 times larger than you, but because you offer something, not only as an MBE, not only as a woman-owned business, not only as a local-owned business, you have the opportunity to partner with these people because you have technology and an understanding of where the market is going and where other folks do not know. Okay, so our first question, Jordan, what is your new tech? You've answered that to a certain extent, but how did you leverage your technology to hack entrepreneurship?
We actually develop sustainable buildings and microgrids. To give it a show of hands, how many people know what microgrids are? All right, so we got a few. So that's great. So I've been in the energy space for about 10 years and in the real estate space for about 20 years. And there's a large gap between what the developers understand and what the energy space understands. And so that was kind of where I saw an opportunity to take a step into developing some of these projects. We actually started developing our own portfolio, converting them to net zero and energy efficient properties. And from there, we started getting other opportunities from other developers who are wanting to understand more about the net zero, more about things like LEED, more about things like Passive House. And we saw that as an opportunity to start providing those services to developers outside of our own personal portfolio. And now that we've been seeing opportunities for resiliency, we see a lot of these issues with rolling blackouts. We see a lot of issues with not having access to reliable electricity in some areas, in rural areas. And so by being able to be in this space initially and starting to develop where we had our strengths, we started to find other areas of opportunity to continue going down a more narrow path, which actually increased our overall revenues and profitability because we were providing services that we saw that no other companies were able to provide. So that's definitely the easiest area to be able to hop into if you're leveraging your background and starting to see those areas where you're seeing either no service or high value in what services you're able to offer. And so with that leveraging, in addition to just our work experience, my background is in mechanical engineering and power electronics. And so that was another area that Sheryl was speaking about earlier in conjoining or creating spaces where the hardware and the software are able to speak to each other. And so now we started finding opportunities in the Web3 space to also integrate some of these technologies as well. So there's an abundance of opportunity, but it starts with the first steps in going into areas where you start seeing those needs.
Thanks. So the way that I would say I hacked entrepreneurship in new tech, I come from a public policy background. Like my colleague Jordan, he is a tech person and has like the STEM background. Someone that majored in political science and sociology, I always found the renewable and energy markets a little intimidating, as well as about 10 to 12 years in government working on Capitol Hill. I had to double down and overcome imposter syndrome first, being a woman and a minority in this space, and also betting on yourself, right? And so me looking at, okay, what are my core skill sets? I'm a policy person. I have political and local community capital, and I leverage my policy background as my entry point into the renewable space. I joined a local startup. The policies were passing all across the country at the time. Maryland was the 13th state to pass virtual net metering, also community solar. I just leveraged what I did, didn't feel like, wow, I don't have a mechanical engineering background, I don't have a STEM background, I don't have a business background, but I felt comfortable saying, okay, well, everything is pretty much determined at the policy level first. How the pie gets split is always determined at the policy level. So, and come to find out, I also knew how the industry was going to unfold, and this is before the IRA and the federal Reduction Act passed, and now my business is being sought out because a lot of the ROIs that's maxed in this latest federal tax package is for low-income solar. So WeSolar, we're based out of Baltimore, Maryland, and we're currently working on community solar projects in 13 states at the moment. And so again, I would say you don't have to feel intimidated because you may not have a traditional path into the new energy space. If you're in accounting, if you're sales, you're marketing, if you are STEM, look at what you do and what you have and look into these new markets and leverage that, because right now there is a workforce supply shortage in renewables. I'm at the conferences, whether it's wind, hydro, solar, EV, we all are running our businesses and our contracts and our contractors, we have to go outside of the community because there's currently a workforce gap. So that means anyone in this conference, anyone in this room, everyone is hiring in our spaces. And so whatever you do well, find that entry point and get into these markets. These are billion-dollar markets right now, whether it's coming in, joining a startup like us, or coming in and saying, hey, I just want to leverage, make some commission, and don't feel afraid because you don't have a traditional energy or STEM background. There's opportunities for all of us.
And it's billions right now.
Thank you.
It's set to
So
be
one of the
trillions.
things I figured out when I was working in commercial real estate, a couple of things I figured out. One, that Elon Musk had a hit, and that two, everyone was not going to own or purchase an electric vehicle, or what we call experience electric vehicle adoption, if they had no easy way of charging their cars. So that was an opportunity for me to grow, for me as an entry point to grow my business. So I went out immediately looking at where I could serve, and I discovered that there's a lot of talk about the utilities, there's a lot of talk about the governments placing EV charging stations, but at the end of the day, it's a real estate play. And so I've been able to leverage my real estate background and also my technical background as an engineer to understand how to get into the markets and where the markets will have the most value and the most immediate impact in our industry. So therefore, I specialize in multifamily and mixed-use development housing, mixed-use development projects. And the reason why is because, one, the sales cycle for government and utility projects are pretty long. You're a small business, you still have to do cash flows and pay your bills, okay? And the other is because the communities that are most likely to benefit from EV adoption are Black and brown communities. And let me say that again, the communities that are going to benefit the most from the activities that we are playing in the marketplace are black and brown folks, because we are the ones subject to the most pollution. We have issues around health disparities, environmental justice, workforce opportunities, and entrepreneurial opportunities are available in these industries, okay, in the industry of sustainability that exists nowhere else on the planet right now in the marketplace. So that's why I chose that particular market, because that's where our people live, and they live in urban environments where they are living in apartments, condos, and townhouse communities, and that's where the opportunities are. Okay, so we're going to scroll through this real quick. All right. Oh, go back. So Jordan, can you talk about your receipts?
Oh.
Okay.
So to date, we have launched on 7 projects throughout the U.S., predominantly the multifamily space. We're currently working on over 1,200 units of low, moderate income housing. And these are what Sheryl was talking about. We're working in areas that I'm originally from Baltimore. And there's a large history of redlining in Baltimore, and areas like Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta, Miami. These are the areas that we're working in, and we've been able to, with our unique positioning, being in the business of construction and real estate development, we've been able to lower our cost of renovation, and by utilizing different technologies. And we're able to do these in areas where you're not traditionally seeing investments. And so these are not only opportunity zones from the traditional sense if in the real estate space you're familiar with opportunity zones, but these are opportunity zones because there's a lot of value that are in these areas that is not being reflected. And so by having more diverse members and more diversity in operating in these zones, we're able to provide opportunities for employment, opportunities for people to embody and see new technologies. And so this is what we are providing as far as solutions go to be able to improve our overall development process.
Kristal, can you talk about your receipts?
So 2 years in, we have contracts in over 13 states. We've already saved low to moderate household incomes over $7 million. To this date, I decided to bootstrap. I didn't want to give VCs 30% of my company because I contract that the industry was going to grow. That's the hardest route, but right now, because I waited, now I have more leverage. I have about 8 megawatts of power purchase agreements in hand. So now going to the table into my seed round, I have contracts in hand, I have the experience, I have a team, and I'm coin operated, ready to go, just 2 years in. And so that's pretty much our receipts right now.
Okay, what DaiTechnologies Corporation has been able to achieve is that we're certified MBE with this organization, but we also have relationships as a reseller and distributor with the top brands with EV charging stations. Since we also do the installations for the infrastructure, we're able to offer our clients savings because of the direct pricing that we are able to achieve. We partner with the Green Bank in Montgomery County in Maryland to place EV infrastructure in moderate and workforce housing. And of course, we focus on mixed-use developments and multifamily. And recently, you see this QR code, if you can grab it. We've also launched a national survey so that we can understand where the folks are as far as their understanding of the EV infrastructure. And we would love to hear from you, because that's going to help us in the future as far as how we market to the markets that we concentrate on. All right. So that's pretty much it. We've got to wrap it up. If you want to stay in touch with us, we would appreciate if you would grab our QR codes that you see in back of us. And of course, the survey is listed there also. Thank you, everyone, for your attention, and we look forward to seeing you in the near future. Bye-bye.